Atlanta for their home opener. Standing by at Mercedes-Benz Stadium are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. We thought the old place was loud. Somehow this place got even louder a short time ago as the Falcons were introduced to this sellout crowd. We're set to go as the Falcons get ready to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They come in off the very rare tie a game ago.
And it'll be interesting to see what their mindset is going into this game. Sometimes that can be a deflator, and sometimes that can just really make you mad and more determined the next time out.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports.
Come on, baby.
So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the man taking number 3 overall back in 2008. It's their now veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan.
And at times it's hard for me to believe I'm saying veteran Matt Ryan. Still remember him coming out of Boston College, full of enthusiasm, mastered their 2-minute drill in his first OTA. What a player.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me...
And got his man complete. 20, 10, and he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Well, look now at our starting defense. Currently number 1 in the NFL against the run.
And that's a ranking that feels good, right? To be number 1 and to be the top of your profession. But here's the problem. It's only week 1.
1 week, yeah.
Can they do it 15 more times? If so, then we really got something to talk about.
That's the challenge. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. From the gun, it's Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat with a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
It's a second down run with Sanders. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46.
Lefty.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And he's got his man on the out route. 7 yards the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Into this game, they're ranked number 22 in the NFL against the pass, Charles.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Shotgun now for Wentz. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are... He's got a man! Complete! There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. His first touchdown of the... Season, and the Falcons have taken the early lead. On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Let's get off the field, D. Watch twins. Watch twins.
Working from the gun, Wentz. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. The sack coming from Adrian Claiborne off the edge.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. To throw, it's Wentz. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
The numbers in last week's game for Hooper. 8 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Calvin Ridley more than justified his first-round selection in 2018. 64 catches as a rookie and found the end zone 10 times. Did a nice job getting open right there and picking up a 1st down.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Again, it'll be Freeman. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 1st touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A reminder, one more game on the Week 2 docket, and it's a good one from MetLife Stadium. Plenty of storylines in this one. OBJ's return. You've got Mayfield and Darnold, first 2 QBs taken last year. Browns and Jets. That's 8:15 Eastern tomorrow night.
Sunday. Man, 5-7. Watch out. Win.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Solid.
A give to Howard. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 23 yards on the play.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
On first down, they run with Howard. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11.
74. Hey, Delta. Ram.
Wentz going to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
This one, 7. Ram.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wentz got a man open. It's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover it? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You're going to yell at me? You go cover him.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they had the touchdown during the last drive, and I'm guessing that you like the balance they had on that last drive.
And I loved it. Forget liking it. Absolutely love what they were doing, because to be ahead of a defense that much, where every play call you have, run or pass, is working pretty well for you.
Makes you look like a genius.
It really does. It also lets you know that your preparation was pretty good, and now the defense has to do all the adjusting.
On 2nd and 12, Ryan.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A gain there of 21 yards.
I know that's their first connection in this game, but you and I both know that Julio Jones is without a doubt his quarterback's favorite target.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan loves this guy. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, and the reason that he's that is because of his dependability. And quarterbacks have to have that from their receivers, meaning they know where they're going to be when they're running certain routes. They don't break them on them. They don't change them up and do their own freelance stuff and put their quarterbacks in bad situations. Matt Ryan has ultimate trust in Julio Jones.
So a jump there defensively.
That's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
On the counter, Devontae Freeman. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll make it 2nd down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Tavecchio puts this one through, and that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Throwing on first is Wentz. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Wentz now on 1st down. Ertz has it left side. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down.
Hey, empty.
Wentz to throw again. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right, because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
Nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, he picks up additional yardage after it.
The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Here we go. 120. No.
Pass it.
On 2nd and goal, Wentz. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Final 12 seconds of the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. The left side completion to Jones. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But I'm
doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They run with Howard. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On 3rd down, Ryan. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Right side caught by Jackson. 23 yards, the final tally. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Wynn's going to try and throw on 3rd. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's Desmond Trufant. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm. I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Freeman again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
25, check 25, check 25.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Now he steps away. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And now here's another interception. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used the calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week. And this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. And now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure. He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Let's go.
Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Get that quarterback, D-line.
Wentz now on first down. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the fourth quarter. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Wentz now to throw. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Adrian Claiborne in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Now Wentz. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Adrian Claiborne, his 2nd sack of the night.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes about him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. 2nd and 10. It's Ryan again. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Getting it out left side to Sanu. Ryan to Sanu, good for an Atlanta first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down. It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
That is caught at the 7. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
And out now come the Eagles. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
46 down, man, 5-4. 45. Other side, solid. You don't see it. Hey, Echo.
On first down, Wentz. Flushed out right. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And my goodness, another interception. It's Desmond Trufant. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Now, that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, and you have to get the ball back. Everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge fourth-quarter stop?
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to play.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A gain there of 30 big ones. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Wentz, now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4.
Ram. Hey, check 24. Check 24.
Into the red zone. Wentz. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Back in the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. The field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th.
Win 5-2 on here. Win 5-3. Win 5-3.
Wentz going to go on 4th down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. So